Welcome to ABC in the Morning live on ABC News GH. We're also live on YouTube. The channel is ABC News GH. I am Abunamante. It's a pleasure to come your way this morning, 28th October 2024. It is a beautiful morning. We're expecting that the day will be a great day for all of us. Today we'll be bringing you the news, the insights, the trends, and everything you need for a complete day. The discussions, as always, will be very engaging, and we'll be looking at the issues that have taken over the airwaves, the issues that matter to you, that matter to me, that matters to all of us. It is a great day today, and I want to tell you and encourage you to determine to be happy in every situation you encounter. Look at the day through very colorful glasses, through very colorful lenses, and expect that the day will be great. We'll be bringing you Front Story. We'll bring Ghana Speaks Business Fix, the latest in sports, health tips. We'll have a very great discussion, bring you politics today, happy hour, and executive interview. Executive interview is the part or the segment on the show that is for you, for your business, for your venture, anything you want us to talk about on the show. Just get in touch with us and we will include you here on executive interview. Get in touch with us on 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Executive interview. Get in touch with us, and then we will do what to put together a very beautiful segment for you and for all of us. Like I always say, Ghana Speaks is for you. Ghana Speaks is purposely made for you. We want to hear your voice. For that reason, we'll be coming to your constituencies to hear what you think, especially ahead of the elections. When we come, kindly receive us and speak with us. As soon as you see ABC News there, get closer to us and then let us talk, because on Ghana Speaks, it is only your voice that matters. Let's go for a short breather. We will be back with Front Story.
We are currently here at Kanisu.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
3, 2, 1.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Mid-year budget review with some
Welcome back and still watching ABC in the Morning. In our Front Story today, UTAG is on the verge of suspending its strike. The University Teachers Association of Ghana on the verge of suspending its strike, and UTAG is set to determine the final outcome of suspending its planned Galamsey strike. This follows a directive by the National Executive Committee of the association after disclosing their intention to call off the strike by Monday, October 28. In the press statement dated October 24, the National Executive Committee explained that the government had given assurances that efforts would be intensified to combat the Galamsey menace and assured that they will continue to monitor the situation to ensure their demands are met. Towards this end, the National Executive Committee of UTAG called on its members to, as it were, either affirm or reject their directive to suspend their action by Tuesday, October 29, through a poll. So far, the information we have gathered indicates that 7 institutions have voted yes to affirm the National Executive Committee's decision to suspend the strike. These 7 institutions include Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, CK Tedam University of Technology and Applied Sciences, University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, UBITS, University of Environment and Sustainable Development, University of Cape Coast, UCC, University of Energy and Natural Resources, UNER, and University of Professional Studies, Accra, UPSA. However, 3 institutions voted to reject the call for the suspension of the industrial action. They are the University of Ghana, the University of Development Studies, UDS, and the University of Education, Winneba. So let's take a look at how they voted in these various institutions. We'll take a look at the results from the various institutions and then we can continue our conversation. So this is from KNUST. In KNUST, 347 voted yes, 194 voted no, and 8 abstained. 347 voted yes, 194 voted no, and 8 abstained. So the 347 make up 63.21% of the total votes. The 194 that voted no make up 35.34% of the total votes, and the 8 who abstained make up 1.46% of the total votes. This is from the UPSA, the University of Professional Studies. 265 voted yes, making up 92% of the total votes. 23 voted no, making up 8%. And these are the votes from the University of Professional Studies in Accra, UPSA. 265 voted yes, 23 voted no for ending the strike. So these are the results coming in. In the University of Ghana, 290 voted no. I reject the decision to suspend the strike. And 226 voted yes. I affirm the decision to suspend the strike. So these are the votes coming from the 3 institutions. And for University of Ghana, no make up 56% of the total votes, and 44% make up the yes votes that they received. So these are some of the votes. These are some of the votes from the schools. And the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, initiated the strike on October 10 in protest of government's perceived inaction on illegal mining. They said that government's action on illegal mining was non-existent, so they determined to go on strike, and they initiated the strike on October 10 in protest against government on its perceived inaction on illegal mining, which has had a devastating impact on river bodies and forest reserves across the country. The strike has led to a significant disruption of academic activities in various public universities nationwide. In its statement dated October 24, the National Executive Committee encouraged UTAG members to return to classrooms with tertiary students expected to resume classes on November 1, 2024. Now it seems to be known what the outcome of the directive by NEC. Now it remains to be known what the outcome of this directive of NEC will be. Meanwhile, the National Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Salam Mustafa, has accused Professor Ransford Jampo and the National Democratic Congress of disenfranchising students in the ongoing UTAG strike. According to a statement by the National Youth Organizer of the NPP, information gathered revealed that Professor Ransford Jampo is in cahoots with the National Democratic Congress to deny tens of thousands of Ghanaian students their right to vote in the December polls. The statement added that by this strike action, Professor Jampo and the UTAG executives aligned with him do not mean well for the students of Ghana. The TUC, the mother union of all organized labor, after discussions with the government over the campaign to protect our forests and water bodies against the menace of illegal and irresponsible mining, decided to abandon the collective decision to embark on a nationwide strike. Salam Mustafa further quizzed the rationale behind the strike, as he believes the strike is a deliberate attempt to disenfranchise innocent students of their rights to vote in the December 7 elections. And we have the press release by the NPP, quite a lengthy one. We will do well to read when we have the time. But we are joined by Professor Isaac Boadi. He is a member of the silent majority of UTAG and also the Dean of the Faculty of Finance. We also have Dr. Jerry Harrison, the General Secretary of UTAG UG. Good morning, sirs. You are welcome to ABC in the Morning.
Thank you.
Let me start with you, Dr. Harrison. Doc, the NEC act that you vote, your people have voted no. Why? Why did they vote no?
Well, I think that when people believe in a particular cause, then it doesn't really matter what machinations go behind the scenes. They will vote by their conscience and not by their stomachs. And so at the UG, I think that people were clear that the challenges we face with the complete disregard for environmental laws and the destruction of our water bodies is unacceptable by any means. And so the only way, after years of advocacy, would be to lay down our tools in protest to the inaction by government. And so that is the answer to your question. UTAG members are not zombies who are moved by the things that go into their bellies, but these are independent thinkers who are patriotic and who think that what is happening is not right by any standard, and therefore government must take action.
That you are not zombies who are moved by the things that go into your stomach. You disregard any machinations happening in the back, and you do not vote by your stomach. Are you in any way insinuating that your leadership has been influenced externally?
No, that's what I mean. I mean, when leadership looks at situations, they look at it from many angles, and so it is not necessarily because UTAG leadership is being influenced externally. It is also for the same reason that we in our constitution made it that every member of the UTAG must cast a vote to authorize or call off a strike. That way, irrespective of what governments or what people do to influence leadership to take decisions in a particular direction, members have the final say in whether they will uphold the decision of the leadership or not. And in UTAG, that's exactly what we do. And so nobody can influence what UTAG does. It's just impossible.
Professor Boedi, the last time we spoke with you on this matter, you mentioned that the silent majority were not in or was not in agreement with the strike because the academic calendar was beginning to take its original form. This strike had unsettled the calendar. We may have to go back to the form that you didn't like. We spoke with the president of UTAG just when the National Executive Committee said that they were putting it before all of the campuses to vote and determine whether you would continue the strike. In that conversation, he also mentioned that one of their considerations in calling off the strike or suspending the strike was because they wanted the academic calendar to go back to its former state. Dr. Boedi, are you happy about this now? Hello, Prof. Hello, Prof. Okay, we do not have Prof at the moment, so let me continue the conversation with you, Dr. Harrison. Dr. Harrison, yes, yesterday, the NPP Youth Wing claims that the reason why you don't want to call off the strike is that, or is because you are in bed with the NDC to disenfranchise voters, students in school who will be voting, because most of them have already registered in school. Their polling stations are on their various campuses. Is there any substance to this claim by the NPP National Youth Wing?
Well, I mean, I have said on other networks that I actually find it very, very strange that the party of someone like Professor Dubois would have, this guy, what's his name, Salam, whatever, as a youth organizer. You listen to the reasoning, it is just so shallow. How do you say that NDC rejoicing because of the fact that the UTAG is on strike against environmental destruction is a sign that they are in bed, with UTAG? Would that mean that if UTAG were to suspend the strike, that also means that UTAG is in bed with NPP or what? I mean, to be very honest with you, I find that extremely strange, and I think that it's not only unfathomable, but it's also insulting to UTAG members that we are not people of integrity, we are not people who think independently, and that we are remote controlled by individuals and organizations with special interests. I find that very, very insulting to UTAG members, and it is on that note that I call on the NPP to apologize unreservedly to UTAG. We are a bunch of independent thinkers, and we do things based on our conscience and not based on our stomachs, as I already mentioned. At the University of Ghana, for example, the same Professor Jampo, who is being accused of being the mastermind behind the strike, has been the one advocating for us to suspend the strike. And he didn't mince words in everything that he did. And so, but even at that, UG still voted against the suspension of the strike. If Prof. Jampo were that influential on how UTAG members think and act, how come at his backyard at the University of Ghana, his campaign for the suspension of the strike didn't succeed? I mean, it tells you that UTAG members are members who think independently and who evaluate things on their own and come to their own conclusions. So for you to insinuate that somebody is remote controlling UTAG members, it's just so unfortunate and insulting. And I know that Professor Jampo is taking measures to seek legal redress, because this is scandalous for you to say such a thing about someone without any shred of evidence whatsoever. It's just pure speculation and insinuation, just in that tarnishing the image of one person and UTAG as a group. That is unfortunate indeed.
Dr. Harrison, but is it not true that if the strike continues, the academic calendar will be distorted? Is it also not true that if the strike continues, many students will be disenfranchised? Have you taken that into consideration as UTAG UG?
Okay, so first of all, disruption of the academic calendar is something that we knew. Don't forget that because of the COVID pandemic, the academic calendar of public universities is no longer uniform.
You have just 1 minute.
With Dr. Harrison, but Dr. Harrison says that the UTAG UG disregards any machinations happening in the back. They are a people of conscience and are voting according to their conscience, not according to their stomach. And he says that nobody, no external body can influence UTAG in taking any decision. The UTAG UG members who voted because they did not want to call off the strike. He says that nobody has influenced them. In any case, the Professor Jampo that the NPP is saying is in cahoots with the NDC actually has campaigned for the suspension of the strike. However, even beyond his campaign, still the lecturers voted for the strike to continue and has called on the NPP to unreservedly apologize to Professor Jampo and UTAG UG for what he says is an insulting statement to them. So that is what Dr. Jerry Harrison, the General Secretary of UTAG UG, has said. We will establish contact with Dr. Harrison and then continue the conversation with him. But at the moment, UTAG across the various campuses are voting whether to suspend the strike or to continue the strike. At the moment, some institutions have voted to suspend the strike, and some institutions have also voted not to suspend. They want the strike to continue. University of Ghana, University of Education, Winneba, and University of Development Studies, UDS, have voted for the strike to continue. 7 other universities have voted for the strike to be suspended. KNUST, CK Tedam, University of Technology and Applied Sciences, University of Business and Integrated Development
Department of Animal
Studies,
Science and
University of Environmental and Sustainable Development, University of Energy and Natural Resources, and University of Professional Studies, UPSA. These are the universities that have voted for the suspension of strike. 7 universities, 3 have voted for the strike to continue. So we are having conversations on this. The NPP youth wing, the youth wing of the NPP released a press statement. Let me read it to you. In their press statement, they are saying that the NDC and Professor Jampo, who is the president of UTAG UG, seek to disenfranchise Ghanaian students with the UTAG strike. Well, elections will be on December 7. Normally, during election period, most of the students are in school because school wouldn't have vacated by then. And NPP is saying that by the strike, if the strike continues, students will not be in school. How will they vote? It means that they would have been disenfranchised, and they are laying the blame at the doorstep of Professor Ransford Jampo and the NDC. So this is the press release by the New Patriotic Party Youth Wing, the National Youth Wing of the New Patriotic Party, dated 28th October 2024. NDC and Professor Jampo seek to disenfranchise Ghanaian students with UTAG strike. This is to bring to the attention of all university students, their parents, and members of the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, what we have gathered to be true and disturbing reason behind the ongoing strike action by UTAG. Our credible information is that Professor Ransford Jampo is in cahoots with his party, the National Democratic Congress, to deny tens of thousands of Ghanaian students their right to vote in the December polls. By this strike, Professor Jampo and the UTAG executives aligned with him do not mean well for the students of Ghana. The TUC, the mother union of all organized labor, after discussions with the government over the campaign to protect our forests and water bodies against the menace of illegal and irresponsible mining, decided to abandon the collective decision to embark on a nationwide strike. The reaction of the NDC made it clear that the party that has perfected the art of double standards, the NDC, was very disappointed that the strike was abandoned. Their wish was for public services in the country to be completely disturbed to the massive inconvenience of Ghanaians, with the expectation that Ghanaian voters would punish the ruling New Patriotic Party by that. If you have wondered why UTAG was the only labor union that decided to go ahead with the strike, the reason is purely and simply political. The NDC and their friends in UTAG, led by Professor Jampo, know that the majority of Ghanaian students prefer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to John Mahama, and that going on strike means the students, many of whom live far away from campus during vacation, will be dissuaded from making the long distance to return to campus only to vote. The likes of Professor Jampo and his NDC are not the least bothered about the dire impact that their decision to lay down their tools will have on the academy of these innocent students. UTAG's decision to continue the strike means only one thing for those behind it: to stop the University of Ghana and other public universities from reopening until the elections are over. Our information is that some students have even given up and traveled outside of the country. Per their own internal opinion polls, the NDC is aware that NPP is winning on the campuses up and down the country, and they seem to have given up trying to convince students that John Mahama, who fought against these same students at certain free SHS, can today be trusted with only the education of the Ghanaian youth, but also with their future prospects for jobs. It goes on and on and on. And the NPP basically are saying that UTAG is in cahoots or is in bed with the NDC to disenfranchise Ghanaian students so that schools will reopen after elections. While the campuses are voting for whether the strike will be sustained or be suspended, and we'll bring you more on that. We will do well to update you on all of what happens and the decision the National Executive Committee of the University Teachers Association of Ghana will take at the end of this. But we have spoken to Dr. Jerry Harrison. He is the General Secretary of University of Ghana, UTAG, the UTAG in University of Ghana, the University of Ghana branch of the University Teachers Association of Ghana. He says that they voted based on their conscience, and their conscience does not permit them to suspend the strike at the moment because the menace is still persisting. If we're able to establish contacts with him, we will speak more on that. But at the moment, this is all we have for you on Front Story today on ABC in the Morning. Let's take a breather. We will be back.
Million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia, #1 on the ballot.
2017, the NPP inherited a fragmented digital infrastructure that limited public service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how services are delivered with the Ghana card and mobile money interoperability, enhancing speed and accessibility. Our efforts have greatly improved government interactions, making life easier for every Ghanaian. However, our vision doesn't stop here. We aim to further expand and modernize Ghana's digital landscape. The journey towards a fully integrated digital society continues. Stand with us. Vote for innovation. Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business. In 2017, the NPP inherited a fragmented digital infrastructure that limited public service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how.
In 2017, the NPP inherited an infrastructure network in need of renewal. We've since focused on building modern, resilient infrastructure, expanding roads, railways, and housing through strong partnerships with the private sector. As we enter the next chapter, a revitalized public works department will lead maintenance, with local governments enhancing district roads. we are committed to expanding railways and upgrading airports to connect Ghana for a stronger future. While much has been achieved, there's still more to do. Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business. Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing health care for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business. Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing health care for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business. Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently at Kamisu.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
Two to one.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing health care for expectant mothers.
Welcome back and still watching ABC in the morning. Before we go for sports and what is trending, we woke up today to very sad news. The leader, the flag bearer for the Ghana Freedom Party, Madam Ekuya Donkor, popularly known as Enyenono, has passed at age 72 after a brief illness. She has passed. She became very popular. She burst out into the scene in 2016 when she contested for president in the country. She was seeking to be president of the nation in the 2016 elections. Fast forward to 2020 elections, she contested again. In this year's election, she also contested, and in this year, she has been very vocal, as she normally is, extremely vocal about her intentions to be president of the nation. And when they balloted for their slot on the ballot paper, she balloted and picked number 3 on the ballot paper. So she was going to be number 3 on the ballot paper for this year's elections. Very unfortunate news this morning. She has passed on age 72. After bursting onto the scenes, she's been very vocal about wanting to be president, and regardless of the quantum of money presidential candidates must pay to file to be president, she has always made sure that she's paid to be able to contest. She contested in the 2 previous elections. Her first time, her running mate was a woman. Her running mate was a woman called Patience. In her second bid to be elected, her running mate Adakabre Frimpong of the Despite Media, and in this year she picked Roman Father, a radio personality, to be her running mate. Unfortunately, she has passed. She was Assemblywoman for Heman. She was Assemblywoman for Heman some time ago, and in 2012 she made her first attempt to run as a presidential candidate, but as an independent candidate. But she was disqualified in 2012. She was disqualified in 2012. Fast forward 2016, she had done. In 2016, she had come back strong, and this time she was not disqualified. She was then qualified to stand as a presidential candidate. 2020, same, and in 2024, same again. And unfortunately, she has passed. A family source has confirmed that indeed she passed at the Ridge Hospital after a very brief illness. The leader for the Ghana Freedom Party, Ikea Donko, dead at 72. So when you go on the various social media platforms, she is trending there. Her name is trending, and many have been caught by surprise, are shocked, can't believe that this is the news coming ahead of the elections. In as much as she was standing for president, she also added some humor to all of the conversations, always smiling, always happy, and always had some anecdotes that would leave audiences smiling and laughing. At the just ended IPAC meeting, she was there. She also had a lot to say at the IPAC meeting. She even said she was going to sue the former president and flag bearer of the NDC, and Madam Ikea Donko has died, age 72. So that is the news coming in this morning. Some very unfortunate news. Let's see what is on the various newspapers today. The Daily Graphic. The US imposes visa restrictions, and the ban targets persons who are undermining the democracy of this nation. USA imposes visa restrictions. And on the Chronicle, 81 modern school blocks ready. Dr. Educhum, Education Minister, says he told the clergy in Kumasi that 81 modern school blocks are ready. On the Daily Guide, Ashanti clergy embraces education reform. Ashanti clergy embraces education reform. Michael Okwe launches manifesto for Dome Kwabenya. Michael Okwe Jr. launches manifesto for Dome Kwabenya. And Parliament must lead Africa's global response. Parliament must lead Africa's global response. That's on Daily Guide. On the new Crusading Guide, the Electoral Commission revises 2024 election ballot statistics for 20 polling stations. Electoral Commission revises 2024 election ballot statistics for 20 polling stations. Daily Dispatch says that NDC's reset means cancellation of nurses' allowance. This is the running mate to the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. He says NDC's reset means cancellation of nurses' allowance. And Chief of Agbola says to boost domestic use of LPG, prices need to be reduced. Prices need to be reduced. That is what the Chief of Agbola is saying on. And on the Daily Searchlight, was the Agona West shooter a policeman? This is the question. There have been some issues at Agona West, pockets of controversy, and you're asking, was the Agona West shooter a policeman? Lower LPG prices so people can use it. Agbola chief urges government. But Agona West is a case that everybody is interested in. Cynthia Morrison's Agona West, and they're asking, was the shooter a policeman? Was the shooter a policeman? Let's go on X. Before we go on X, let's check what is on the various news portals this morning. Speaker of Parliament petitions Supreme Court to reverse ruling, and this is on ABC News GH. On ABC News GH, Speaker of Parliament petitions Supreme Court to reverse ruling. Ghana Freedom Party leader Ekuya Donkor passes away at Ridge Hospital, and Cynthia Morrison escapes alleged assassination plot. Police begins investigation. And finally, Boko conflict is a clear security failure, not a chieftaincy matter. MP for Zebila East, Claire Tusavoka, he says it is not a chieftaincy matter, it is a clear security area, a security failure. Let's see what is on myjoyonline.com. 447,698 students gain automatic admission as 2024 school placement results are released. In the Agona West shooting, Cynthia Morrison says, I do not know who fired the gun, and parliamentary standoff requires dialogue for resolution. Oseche Mensah, former majority leader, says so. Vladimir Tridanso says that how can the US determine how Ghana's democracy is formulated? And he's asking this based on the US placing some restrictions on visas for persons who they say are undermining the democracy of the country. On City Newsroom reports that Ghana Freedom Party leader Ekuya Donkor has died. That's what they are reporting. And Ayikwe Otu dismisses legitimacy claims of rival Ga Manche. Ayikwe Otu dismisses legitimacy claims of rival Ga Manche. Mahama calls for restraints amid renewed chieftaincy clashes in Boko. So these are what is on the various news portals. Let's go to X platform, formerly known as Twitter. Trending on X is Ekuya Donkor. Trending on number 1, Ekuya Donkor, the leader of the Ghana Freedom Party. The leader of the Ghana Freedom Party, Ekuya Donkor, and many are sad, very concerned. Now, Oyo Kote says, just woke up to see the passing of Ekuya Donkor. May she rest in peace. Katanga Fellowwood says, rest in peace, Ekuya Donkor, our favorite politician. Kofi Amwa Aban says, R.I.P. Ekuya Donkor. And the various news pages are also reporting that she has passed. Kwaku Anidoho says, as an observer at the 2 most recent IPAC meetings, I saw her at very close range, and some of her submissions shall forever be etched on the mind of the nation. She loved Ghana, and may she journey well in peace to the bosom of the Lord. R.I.P. Ekuya Donkor. More and more and more on Madame Ekuya Donkor, who has passed after a brief illness. Many Ghanaians are sad, and are sad that she has passed. So that is what is trending on X, formerly known as Twitter. Rest in peace is also trending on X, and it's also because of Madame Ekuya Donkor. Her family, a close family source, disclosed that she died at the Ridge Hospital after a short illness. For more news, you should visit our website, www.abcnewsgh.com. Up next is sports, and also after sports, we'll bring you health tips. Derek Kumiki Siedu is on hand for sports, and Eric Chinebua Melo also on hand for health tips. Stay with us. We will be back.
Advertise your brand or business on ABC News GH Television. Call us on 030-278-8645 or 050-993-0360 to secure your slot.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. My name is Derek Kumiki. Now let's dive into the world of sports as the Volta Regional Football Association's under-15 team emerged as champions after defeating Team Ashanti 3-2 in the inaugural GFA Elite Under-15 Championship held at the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence in Pram Pram. Team Volta displayed their resilience and thrilling comebacks throughout the tournament. They maintained a perfect record, winning all their matches, including dramatic comebacks in their third and final games against the Upper West and Ashanti region. This tournament is part of the Ghana Football Association's implementation of FIFA's talent development scheme aimed at identifying and nurturing the next generation of top football stars. This event follows the Elite Under-15 Girls Championship held at the same venue in July this year. Away from that, let's do some international sports as Manchester City and Spain midfielder Rodri has won the men's Ballon d'Or, awarded to the best footballer of the year for the first time. The 28-year-old who was awarded Paris after helping Spain with Euro 2024 in July. He also won the Premier League, UEFA Super Cup and Club World Cup with City. Rodri, the first player in the club's history to win the Ballon d'Or, claimed the award ahead of Real Madrid and Brazil winger Vinicius Junior. Real Madrid midfielder Jude Bellingham was third, the highest an English player has finished in the award since Frank Lampard's second place finish in 2005.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 68th Ballon d'Or of history, Rodri!
The Ballon d'Or, France Football, is
Rodri! Vamos!
Rodri's he can just do things other players can't.
Rodri doing what he does so well.
It's kind of a balance between both defensive and offensive. I always wanted to play that position.
You speak to the players who play with him and they are just saying he is the best holding midfielder in the world right now.
Lost for words, he can do everything. I don't see a weakness to his game.
Rodri pops in the ball.
It's a great ball from Rodri.
Manchester City have won the UEFA Super Cup.
Pop. Rodri in to steal it back.
How many times do you see him do that, Rodri?
Rodri is the most important player in the Premier League for any team.
Oh, that is beautiful. He just mazed his way into the edge of the penalty area. He didn't smack it, he caressed it. The best team in the land.
Away from that now, Lamine Yamal, a 17-year-old midfielder from Barcelona, Spain, has been named the winner of the 2024 Copa Trophy. This prestigious award honors the best player under the age of 21 as of July 31, 2024. Yamal's impressive breakthrough season saw him score 5 goals and create 7 assists in the La Liga before helping Spain win the UEFA Euro 2024 tournament. He also awarded the goal and young player of the tournament honors in Spain's victorious campaign. Yamal is the first player under the age of 18 to win the Copa Trophy.
Bueno, buenas noches. Nada, es un orgullo poder recibir este premio. Gracias a France Football por el reconocimiento y nada, sobre todo lo primero quería agradecer a mi madre, a mi padre y a mi abuela, que son los que me han ayudado desde siempre. Y nada, obviamente también al staff.
Other award winners include Aitana Bonmati, Spain, Barcelona, winner of the Women's Ballon d'Or 2024. Jennifer Hermoso, also from Spain, Tigres, winner of the Socrates Award 2024. Carlo Angelucci, Italy, Real Madrid, winner of the Men's Coach of the Year. Emma Hayes, winner of the Women's Coach of the Year 2024, unable to attend the ceremony. Real Madrid, winner of the Men's Club of the Year 2024. Barcelona, winner of the Women's Club of the Year 2024. Harry Kane and Kylian Mbappe, winner of the Gerd Müller Trophy. Emiliano Martinez, winner of the Yashin Trophy. And now Nigeria's Ademola Lookman secured a 14th place finish in the 2024 Ballon d'Or rankings in Paris. The 27-year-old stood as Africa's lone representative in the final 30-man shortlist for the award. Lookman's remarkable season with Atlanta earned him this prestigious nomination. He was instrumental in their UEFA Europa League victory, netting a hat-trick in the final against Bayern Leverkusen to deliver Atlanta's first ever European trophy. He wrapped up the season with 11 goals and 7 assists in 31 league appearances, earning him the club's Player of the Year award. This is what he said at the red carpet.
Achievement for my country, for my club, for everybody involved, my family. So special night. I'm very happy. Yeah.
Enjoy the evening. Thank you very much, Adam. Welcome to Paris. It's now official. You are 14th of the Ballon d'Or. I mean, that's you're into the top 14 of the best players in the world. That must mean a lot.
Yeah, no, it's very special for me to be here tonight. A big achievement for my country, for my club, for everybody involved, my family. So special night. I'm very happy. Yeah.
Enjoy the evening. Thank you very much, Adam. Welcome to Paris. It's now official. You are.
Well, and that's how we wrap up the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. For more news updates, please follow our website at www.abcnewsgh.com. I am Derek Kumi Kisiedu.
We are currently here at Kamisu.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
2-1.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
welcome to the health segment on ABC in the morning. I am Eric Chinibwa Melo, and it's time to do some health update. Remember that we are still in the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I can confidently also say that here at ABC News Ghana, we have done absolutely a lot with the awareness campaign, but we are not stopping until the message is heard by all. So in today's health tips, we are looking at lifestyles that can trigger us to get breast cancer. Most often we just used to breast cancer, but we don't also know about the lifestyles that can also attract all these diseases to us. So first, we are tackling obesity. So it means that obesity can actually make you also, or is likely for you to get cancer. So excess body fat increase estrogen levels, boosting your breast cancer risk. It means that if you're too fat, if you're obese, let me just say, be sure that you visit a doctor for a thorough checkup to be confirmed whether or not you may be suffering from breast cancer. Well, another factor that can contribute as a lifestyle is a sedentary lifestyle. Well, now, what do we mean when we say a sedentary lifestyle? It means that lack of physical activity can also contribute to obesity and insulin resistance. So sometimes doctors have advised that we take a walk, we wake up, we just take a stroll here and there, but most often than not, we are always tired after our work and we just relax on our bed, on our phones, and we forget to even walk or take a stroll. It means that if you are someone that is always seated at one place, you can it's possible that you may suffer from breast cancer. Well, I don't know if you are also in that situation, but also poor diet contributes a factor. It means consuming high amount of saturated fats, which include sugar and processed foods. Now, sometimes saying we were talking about poor diet. Now, consuming high amount of saturated fats such as sugar and processed food, as I was saying, most often we are in traffic, we are tired, exhausted, we just want to buy some soft drink to cool our quench your thirst. It means that excessiveness of these saturated foods, which includes these sugar and processed food, can also be a factor or can also contribute to the risk of getting breast cancer. Then again, alcohol consumption. Now, I don't drink alcohol, but most of you that drink alcohol can bear with me that it is likely, in fact, doctors have warned against excessive intake or consumption of alcohol. It means that it can also increase your breast cancer risk. So if you're somebody that likes to take in so much of alcohol, I'm here to tell you that this lifestyle isn't good for you, and doctors have advised that you take it easy on alcohol, else you are at risk of also getting breast cancer. Then again, smoking. Alcohol and smoking comes in is like 6 and 9, someone would say. So as far as someone is drinking an alcohol, some of you also drink alcohol and you smoke at the same time. Now, this includes tobacco use, and it can actually damage your DNA, and it also increase your cancer risk. Okay, so if you're drinking, you don't also have to add smoking. Most of you add the two, and that is really deadly. Okay, so radiation exposure. Now, history of radiation therapy or exposure to radioactive materials can also be a factor. It means that if you're also always seated or have any radiative material such as your phone, such as any object that actually reacts to radiation, often we are advised not to always be behind any radioactive materials all the time. It means that if you're sitting by all these gadgets all the time, or you are by these gadgets all the time, it can also increase your risk of getting breast cancer. Then again, hormone replacement. So it also means that therapy, which has prolonged use of HRT, can also increase breast cancer. Then doctors have also specified some interesting reactions risk at women and men. So today, let's also take into consideration what specific risk women especially can go through. So the first sign, if you're a woman and you're watching me, just know this sign and just be cautious. So the first thing you're actually going to see is early menstruation. So if you are at age 12 and you start menstruating already, it means, well, doctors have said that it can be possible that you are at risk of possibly getting breast cancer. It means that whilst you get checked, whilst you get your health screened all the time, your breast screen, doctors can advise you on that. Then late menopause, so after age 55, prolonged estrogen exposure can also be a factor to you getting breast cancer. So all these are part of the women risk we're telling you about. Then again, having no children, or having children late reduces breastfeeding benefits. Okay, so doctors have said that having children late reduces breastfeeding and its benefits. So it can also increase your risk of getting breast cancer. Then again, breastfeeding for less than 6 months also reduces protective effect. The use of birth control pills also increase breast cancer risk, especially for women over 35. Now, I'm not so sure about this breastfeeding, pills, and some doctors have actually prescribed them. If you're 35 and beyond, and you don't want to give birth, there are birth pills control that you can take not to give birth, but in anything we do it in moderation. So finally, you can also get breast cancer as a woman if you have a family history. So having a first degree relative with breast cancer can also trigger the risk of you getting a breast cancer as a woman. Then again, genetic predominancy or predisposition, that's carrying a BRCA1 or a BRCA2 means that you actually at risk, especially when your gene mutation is in line with your genetic spread in the family. It means that you're also at risk. Then again, let's come to the guys. Now, this is what I'm quite particular about, because over the weekend we've actually talked a lot about women. So now let me just take time and actually speak with my guys. So guys, listen to me. If you're a guy and you're watching me, these are the risks or the signs that you can actually detect. A breast cancer risk can also increase at age 60. So breast cancer risk increases with age, especially if you are at age 60. It means that even at your youthful age, you might not see it, exhibiting physically, but when it gets to 60, and you actually start developing some lumps around your breast, it means that you have to go and seek for medical check so you can actually confirm or not whether you are at risk of getting breast cancer. Then again, as I've said, just some quite similar connections with the women. So family history also can contribute. So having a first degree relative, it means that you can also get breast cancer. Genetic predisposition means the same thing, carrying a BRCA1 or a BRCA2 gene mutations also. Then again, if you have a genetic condition as a guy, if your dad has or if your dad had a condition like breast cancer in your family, or perhaps your mom or your grandmother had a breast cancer in your family, you were at risk of getting breast cancer. Now, liver disease is also one factor that can damage or increase your estrogen level, and doctors have advised that we actually pay attention to our liver. So as I've said, drinking a lot of alcohol can actually increase your chances of getting breast cancer. So testicular conditions also, this is quite very interesting. Most often we just don't pay attention to our balls, and that thing is too early. I don't want to go into the biochemistry and biology and that kind of, later we'll discuss that proper. But hey, sometimes you just have to be rubbing your hand just to be sure that everything is in check at your testicular, I should say, organs there, just to make things in shape. Okay, radiation exposure, just as I've said, if you always buy your phone with among any radiative objects, it means that you are or could be at risk of getting breast cancer. Now, even in our environment also, we are exposed to a lot of things. So it means that if you're stressed, you get chronic stress or hormone levels and immune functions. Stress is quite relative. Sometimes you're really stressed from work and you don't even know what to do. Doctors have said that if you're always stressed, you don't, give the body some time to relax. These things can also prolong or increase your risk of getting breast cancer. Okay, so stress, like chronic stress, affect hormones levels and immune function. Then again, sleep deprivation We don't sleep. We're always on our phones texting. Hey, love, have you, as at 1 a.m., most of you are still on your phones texting, whatever. And actually, if you don't have enough rest, you cannot, be at risk of getting breast cancer. So take it easy and just have enough rest. Now, lack of vitamin D. Vitamin D, well, doctors say that low levels linked to increased breast cancer you can be at risk of getting breast cancer. So reducing risk, it means that you have to maintain a healthy weight. We suggested that you exercise a lot and then again eat a balanced diet rich of fruit and vegetables and a whole grain. It means that you also have to limit your intake of alcohol consumption. So if you are somebody that drinks 2 bottles of alcohol, it means that you have to now cut it down to either 1 or maybe minimize the drinking. If you are also smoking, it means that you have to quit smoking. Then again, limit radiation exposure. Don't always be by anything which is very radiating or such as your phones and other radiating objects. So it means that you also have to consider genetic testing. If you have a family history, most often we don't really ask, we don't even know the history in our family, whether we have our grandfathers or our mothers or our sisters, siblings have breast cancer history. We don't know. We get to shocking the news that we also get or have breast cancer. Then we are all over the place saying that it's spiritual. Meanwhile, it actually transpired from your parents or your ancestors or something like that. So sometimes you also have to do genetic testing just to be sure. Practicing stress reduces techniques. It means that you always have to rest often. So if you're having a 5 to 9 job or a 9 to 5 job, just know that right after work, just take off from your busy schedule just to rest. Now remember that while lifestyle changes can reduce breast cancer risk, they are not a guarantee of prevention. It means that often you have to visit your hospital and get your breast examined, regardless of your gender, to save you from future complications. And that's all we have for you on Health Tips today. I am Eric Trinibua Melo. Catch you again for another insightful health update. ABC in the Morning continues right after this.
Budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kanishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
2 to 1.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kanishi.
When the news
You can advertise your brand or business on ABC News GH Television. Call us on 030-278-8645 or 050-993-0.
Free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia #1 on the ballot.
In 2017, the NPP inherited a fragmented digital infrastructure that limited public service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how services are delivered with the Ghana card and mobile money interoperability, enhancing speed and accessibility. Our efforts have greatly improved government interactions, making life easier for every Ghanaian. However, our vision doesn't stop here. We aim to further expand and modernize Ghana's digital landscape. The journey towards a fully integrated digital society continues. Stand with us. Vote for innovation. Vote for Baumia.
In 2017, the NPP inherited an infrastructure network in need of renewal. We've since focused on building modern, resilient infrastructure, expanding roads, railways, and housing through strong partnerships with the private sector. As we enter the next chapter, a revitalized public works department will lead maintenance, with local governments enhancing district roads. We are committed to expanding railways and upgrading airports to connect Ghana for a stronger future. While much has been achieved, there's still more to do. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kanisi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
Two to one.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
You're welcome back, and you're still watching ABC in the Morning live on ABC News GH. Let's head straight into Business Fix. On Business Fix today, we are looking at Ghana's minimum wage and whether this minimum wage encourages investment and savings. Financial literacy, like we've been discussing since yesterday, is the ability to understand and effectively manage personal financial matters. It encompasses a range of skills and knowledge that enables individuals to make informed decisions regarding budgeting, saving, investing, borrowing, and planning. Financial literacy helps us a lot, and very key to our financial literacy is how we save. Ghana's minimum wage is not a very high one, some will say, and some have also said that financial literacy is on the low because of our minimum wage. By fostering financial literacy, Ghana can bridge the gap between those with and without financial services, ultimately reducing poverty and promoting economic growth. The question to ask is, are Ghanaians making enough to enable them make important financial decisions? Are Ghanaians making enough to enable them make important financial decisions such as savings and investing? In 2021, the Ghana Living Standard Survey reported that the average monthly income for Ghanaians was around 1,500 to 2,000 Ghana cedis, between 1,500 and 2,000 Ghana cedis. That was the average monthly income as reported by the Standard Survey. And this year 2024, the committee that determines the national daily wage, the committee called the National Tripartite Committee, increased Ghana's minimum wage from 14.88 Ghana per minimum wage, encourages us to be able to invest and save. Good morning, Sam. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
Sam, at the moment, Ghana's minimum wage is 18.15 Ghana cedis. Is this wage a good wage?
All right. Yes. Ghana's minimum wage is 18.5 Ghana cedis per day, and somewhere around 500 cedis per month. From where we sit, we think Ghana's minimum wage is very, very low, like the other developing countries. Looking at the basic expenses and looking at the cost of living in Ghana, the minimum wage is not enough for talking about people who are earning the minimum wage as at now. Won't be enough for them to cover expenses and to cover their cost of living, because cost of living in Ghana basically now, looking at the interest rate and the inflation rate, 18.15 Ghana cedis a day will just have you do what we call hand to mouth, and will not be enough for you to make a living.
So then, if
I think that would be good for production, yeah.
If it will not be enough for you to live adequately, and it will only help with hand to mouth, how then can a person plan to invest or even save with this minimum wage?
That will be difficult for every individual who is around the minimum wage, who is earning around the minimum wage, talking about saving and investing. Because in order for you to save and invest, you have to first of all look at your cost of living, and cost of living is basically looking at the things you need to take care of in a particular period. And if your minimum wage is basically doing hand to mouth, basically taking care of all your expenses within a period, then it will be very difficult for you to save, and then not to even talk about investing. So someone earning 18.15 a day will find it very difficult to save. But if there are cases where you can still earn 18.15 and still decide to save, and I'll run you through some of the processes or some of the things this individual who is earning 18.15 will still love to save and will still love to invest. The first thing the person has to look at is to adjust his or her budget. I believe you can bear with me that the cost of living is our way is what we have put according to what we have set for ourselves. So the way I live will be different from the way you live. So I can adjust the way I live looking at my budget. So if I am able to stick to my budget, then I'll be able to stick to my level of living. So sticking to budget is all about certain things that you need to buy, things that you need to get, and then matching them to your income. So assuming you have one stream of income that is giving you the minimum wage of 18.5, and then you have a list of expenses to cater for in a month, you'll have to make sure that all the things you are catering for in a month is up to the 18.5 Ghana cedis per day. I hope you agree with me. So the first thing to look at is starting or setting a budget and sticking to your budget. And the second thing to look at is automating your savings and your investment. So for me, for instance, all the time when I want to invest, any money that hits my account, a margin of it hits my investment account. So something like 20% has to hit my retirement, my investment account. So I don't touch 80% of my savings, of my wage or salary. 20% of my salary I don't touch. 80% goes into other expenses. So automating your savings and your investment will help you to save even in these hard times. And the next one, which we all know, is to be able to cut on unnecessary expenses. So if you want to save even in this hard time, or earning 18.15 and you want to save, then it means you have to cut unnecessary spending. And then you also have to find other sources of income. Living under one source of income will not help you build wealth or will not help you save if you want to save. Yeah.
But how many people can get multiple sources of income? At the moment, not everybody is able to do multiple jobs or be able to engage in multiple avenues that will bring them income. So say somebody is making that 18.5. Would you rather advise that they find a better place to work in? Would you rather advise that if somebody comes to you and says that, Kobe, where I work, they pay between 20 to 30 cedis a day. That is obviously more than the minimum wage, between 20 and 30 cedis a day. Would you advise the person to take that job, or you would say that they should find a place that pays better than that?
Hello? So first of all, since there is no job and jobs are, and then you work, you earn 18 cedis or 20 cedis a day, that's fine. You won't be able to save as of now because probably your expenses within the day matches the 18 cedis you are taking. Probably if you are living in Accra, you know, cost of living in Accra, transportation alone can take the 18 cedis away, not to even talk about food. So first of all, I would advise the person to take that job. Taking that job doesn't mean savings doesn't mean you need to get a higher amount of money. You need to get a higher amount of money before you save. No, you can save within these 18 cedis. But if you want to get another job, you have to look at the time frame. You have to look at what you can do. So you can be earning 18 cedis and still look for another job, something you can do aside. So, for example, I am an investment professional. I work with an investment bank. On the side, I consult, and then I also teach in an entrepreneurship school. So this helps me to cater for other expenses that my monthly salary does not even cater for. Okay. So I think everyone can find another source of income. You can go to the market, find a woman who is selling in the market. Ask the woman how much she's earning, and ask the woman how much she needs to pump into her business to boom her business. She will tell you that she needs this amount, that amount, and you go into a contract with her. If I give you this amount, will you be able to? If I give you this amount for continuously a particular year, will you be able to give me a return of this? And then you invest into a woman's business, and then you earn from the woman as well. You can also set up other businesses where you don't have to be there. You have to employ other people to work for you, and I believe it is possible.
Well, Kobe, before you go, say somebody earns 2,500 cedis a month, or let's even bring it to 1,500 cedis a month. Let us see how we can structure 1,500 cedis that a person earns in a month to be able to save some. Let's look at a structure for 1,500 CD income.
Okay, so someone earning 1,500 cedis in a month. Let's assume the person is in Accra, and then the first thing the person has to take care of is food. We have transportation. We have bills, water bill, light bill, and all that. We have so food, transportation, bills. Then let's put in savings. So 1,500 cedis, I believe the person can allocate 300 cedis for transportation. I don't know, but this will benefit most of us. 300 cedis for transportation in and out, that's for the month. 500 cedis for food. 200 cedis for bills. And that will be 1,000 cedis. And you will be left with 500 cedis. I would have given 500 cedis to savings. But let's talk about other miscellaneous. So there should be a miscellaneous that we don't know. So let's give 250 to miscellaneous. Then we can give 250 to savings. So looking at the rough sketch I have done now, you could see that that individual will be able to save 250 cedis into his investment or savings account.
Okay.
Taking into consideration 500 cedis for food, transportation 300 cedis, bills 200 cedis, and then miscellaneous 250.
Thank you, Kobe.
You're welcome.
Sam Kobe Hagan is a certified financial advisor. We're looking at Ghana's minimum wage and whether it encourages investment and savings. Kobe agrees that our minimum wage of 18.15 is not so high. It's not a good enough minimum wage. It can be better than it is. However, by automating your savings and investments, you can be able to save a little, some of the money you receive. Per a survey, Ghanaians receive between 1,000 to 2,000 Ghana cedis. So if you receive an income of 1,500 cedis, you could go by what Kobe has shared with us. Maybe spend 300 cedis on your transportation, 500 cedis on your food, 200 cedis on your bills, and then you have another 250 cedis for miscellaneous, any unforeseen bills you'd have to settle, and then with a 250 cedi extra you could be saving or investing with this. Although the money may be small, you starting little may also help you be able to put some money down for the future. So that is it for that. A minimum wage is not enough, however you still can save a little money as you go on. That's all for Business Fix this morning.
Media budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kanishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
Two to one.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
You can advertise your brand or business on ABC News GH television. Call us on 030-278-8645 or 050-993-0360 to secure your slot. You can advertise your brand or business on ABC News GH television. Call us on 030-278-8645 or 050-993-0360 to secure your slot.
You're welcome back. Let's get straight into our main discussion for today on ABC in the morning. And we are discussing the recent power outages due to gas shortage by Gridco. Gridco said that there would be some power shortages. So today in our main discussion, we are focusing on Gridco and its recent release, which seems to be getting almost everyone in the country worried and talking. When it comes to electricity, power, everybody is sensitive about it because it is a commodity, a very basic commodity that we need. In your area, in your community, in your vicinity, have you experienced any recent power outages? If you have, let us know. Interact with us on our socials and let us know. You can send us a text on our number 059. You can send it to us on 053-916-1609, 053-916-1609. You can send us a text. Let us know if you have experienced any power outages in your vicinity. And the Ghana Grid Company, Gridco, announced a possible power outage affecting several regions across the country. According to Gridco, the outage is due to a gas shortage, which has disrupted power generation. And Gridco has clarified that the ongoing power outages in parts of the country is due to a gas shortage to power thermal plants or thermal power plants, affecting electricity transmission. This comes amid irregular power supply in parts of the country, which some analysts and a section of the public have cautioned that doomsaw could be making a comeback. Gridco's corporate communications manager, Jifa Bampo, has explained that the gas supply challenges stem from commercial issues involving agreements, payments, and negotiations with gas suppliers. She said the bottleneck has reduced generating capacity, leaving Gridco unable to transmit sufficient power to the Electricity Company of Ghana. Jifa Bampo has stressed that the outages are unrelated to the shutdown of the Sono Nasogli Power Limited, which halted operations due to ECG's death. Jifa Bampo had this to say on the gas shortage. Let's take a listen to it.
As far as we are aware, as the transmission entity and as the entity that manages the national grid, we are aware of some commercial challenges with supply in reference to gas. When we say commercial challenges, it means there are agreements, payments, negotiations that need to be done with the gas suppliers. So really that has nothing to do with that. But the challenge is once there is a drop in supply as a result of those bottlenecks, it affects generation capacity, and then ultimately it affects transmission as well. So for us, we are unable to provide the full quantum of power supply that ECG would need for demand in country. And that's just because there are these commercial issues related to the gas and government. Those need to be addressed. Then if we get the full quantum of gas supply as we normally do, then we can address mission issues. Usually what would happen is if Sunon Asogi was operating, they were operating because they would have received a supply of gas. However, if they have chosen not to operate, as I understand is their decision, that would have gone to them would just be reallocated to other suppliers who use gas for their thermal plants. So it doesn't really have anything to do with the recent outages. The current issues we've all experienced, including myself, is really just because we don't have the full quantum of gas supply, indigenous gas supply in Ghana, to meet our demand needs. And that is the reason why we are seeing these challenges. As soon as government is able to address the commercial issues with the gas producers and suppliers, then we should be okay. That is for in-country. So this has nothing to do with NGAS as well. It's about our suppliers in country and their negotiations and requirements from government. That has nothing to do with Great Co.
So that's Jifa Bampo Communications for Great Co. She says that this issue is not in any way associated with the shutdown of the Sunon Asogli power plant. It is a commercial issue. However, whether it is a commercial issue or not, Ghanaians are experiencing some form of lights out in various vicinities. The phone lines are 053-916-1609. Let us know if you have experienced any lights out in your area, in your vicinity. How frequent has it been? How long do the lights go off before the lights are restored? Let's know how you are affected. This event is likely to impact businesses, households, and essential services. Many people are saying that Dumso may be coming back, and we know the adverse effect Dumso has on businesses, has on households, has on essential services. We are all hoping and praying that it is not Dumso. Government has said over and over and over that Dumso will not make a comeback again. Dumso is not associated with its government at all. Well, we'll have a conversation soon with an energy expert so that we can better understand all of these things, the reasons behind the gas shortage, and how these things can be mitigated. So the lines are open. You can send us a text, you can call us, let us know if you have experienced any lights out in your area. Has it been for a long period? Yesterday on one of the social media platforms, I saw a post by someone who said that all through last week, every evening at a specific time, their lights go off. His vicinity's lights go off every evening at a specific time, and was complaining about it. Obviously, when things like these happen, it's quite a worry to you, because you may have planned your day, you're expecting that you do this at this time of the night, and then no lights. And you do not want irregular power supply. You don't want erratic power supply. You want your power to be stable. You want your lights to be on the whole day, so that you can do things the way you have scheduled it. When the lights are not on the whole day and it comes at certain intervals, it will mean that you'll have to structure your day or your activities around the availability of electricity, and that can be worrying at some point. It can be very worrying when you have to do all of these. We'll see how far it goes. We'll see how far it goes. Since we mentioned Sonang Asogli power plant recently shut down operations due to payment issues from ECG. They had threatened to shut down sometime last year. They didn't, and then they have done that again. And they called on the Ministry of Finance to facilitate all of the payments ECG must pay them so that they can resume operations. So it seems we have certain issues with regards to power, and that need to be solved. Issues that should be taken into consideration now. So we'll see how all of these pan out. But you can send us a text or call us on 053 916 1609. 053 916 1609. Let us know if you are experiencing any lights out in your vicinity, how long it is, or if it is maybe a 10-minute thing and then it's gone. But we have a caller on the line. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, so I'm calling from Weja.
You're calling from?
Near the Westfield Mall.
Weja, near the Westfield Mall.
Yes, please.
Okay, and your name?
My name is Innocent.
Innocent, are you experiencing any power outages in Weja?
Yes, we do. We do. Because it goes off sometimes as early as 9 a.m. and comes back like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. And I mean, you lose your whole day's job where we have to use electricity to work. And it's so sad when you are paying your bills. So you wonder how is it that ECG can't serve us? You wonder. It's very sad, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
And we know from generations these issues have been coming up. We need to do something about it.
Well, thank you, Innocent.
We really do something. Right. Thank you very much.
Innocent from Weja says that they experience power outages for at least 12 hours in Weja. Lights go off as early as 9 a.m. and then the next time it's restored is around 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. That's basically all of the working time lost to power outages. For those who run any services in that area, how are they affected? How are they able to make their money? If they are selling perishable goods, how are they cushioning themselves due to this issue? If you're experiencing any power outages, would be glad to hear from you. If you are also not experiencing any power outages in your area, we still will be glad to hear from you. Let's see how far the reach of this situation is, whether it is contained to specific areas or it is widespread. You can call us or text us on 053 916 1609. 053 916 1609. But great call. Okay, we have another caller. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from? Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Upper East. Okay, what's your name? Al Hassan. Al Hassan, are you experiencing any power outages where you are? Where exactly in Upper East do you stay? Where exactly in Upper East do you stay? Okay, and you don't and you don't experience any well, you okay. Al-Hassan, we just wanted to know if you are experiencing any outages. So since you are not, thank you for calling. So Al-Hassan is not experiencing any outages where he is in the Upper East, in the Upper West region. Thank you for calling, Al-Hassan. Would like to hear from you. You can text that 053 916 1609. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jennifer. I'm calling from Mansour Dubia.
Hello, Jennifer. Are you experiencing any power outages in Mansour Dubia?
Yes, please. Almost every day. I would say almost every day. Sometimes within 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes the whole day. For instance, last night we slept in darkness till this morning that we just had like about 30 minutes ago. So for here, the power outage is almost every day. I would say that because I'm in the house with my baby. So almost every day we are in the dark.
And your baby has to sleep in the heat?
Pardon?
Said, and your baby has to sleep in the heat. Is that so?
Yeah, for sure. That one, sometimes I have to stay up fanning him.
Okay, Jennifer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling us, Jennifer. Jennifer calling from Mansour Dubia. She says that they experience power outages almost every day. She has a baby and will have to stay up to fan the baby so that he doesn't feel the heat from the power outage. Thank you for calling us, Jennifer. You can also call us 053-916-1609 or send us a text on the same number. Are you experiencing power outages where you are? Is it a one-time thing? The lights go out once and it doesn't happen again? Or it is a continuous thing? You are continually experiencing power outages in your area. If you run a shop from home, if you work with the power from home, how are you able to sustain the work you are doing? If it is at your workplace, you leave home and go to work and that's where the lights are going off, the power outages are happening, how are you able to sustain your business? Have you lost any produce at the moment because of the lights out? We'd like to hear from you. 053-916-1609. Call us and we will be glad to hear from you. Well, so the recent power outages, Gridco says that it has nothing to do with with the shutdown of Sunon Asogli, but has everything to do with other issues. They are external issues, they are commercial issues, not anything that has any correlation with the Sunon Asogli. But Sunon Asogli has actually shut down, awaiting payment by ECG so that they can resume operations. ECG owes them huge sums of money. They had earlier indicated to shut down. They decided not to. Well, we have another caller. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Sapeman.
Sapeman?
Accra.
Okay. Yes. Emmanuel, are you experiencing any power outages?
Yes. We've been experiencing power outages. And the opposite side of our section, they are always in constant power supply. And we don't know whether it is because of the construction of the road. That is what is causing us some power outages. And we only want them to clarify us and then just inform us about it.
Okay. For how long do you experience the outages? Is it throughout the day or at specific times?
Throughout the day. For example, last Sunday, throughout the day, we had total power outage from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay. All right, Emmanuel. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Emmanuel from Sapeman. Emmanuel says that on their side, the lights are almost always out. However, on the other side of the road, they have constant lights. He would like for them to better explain so that they know how to prepare themselves. These are some of Ghanaians telling us what's happening in their area. So for some, no power outages. For others, it's power outages throughout the day. So Gridco says that it has nothing to do with Sunon Asogli, but there is a gas shortage, and because of this gas shortage, we are experiencing sad power outages. Some have attributed it, saying that we are gone back to the days of doom. So whereas others say that no, this is not doom. So let's speak with Charles Jemfi Ofori. Let's speak with him. He is an energy expert and he has monitored the energy situation in Ghana over a time, and he is the policy lead, climate change and energy transition at ACEP, the Africa Center for Energy Policy. Good morning, Charles. Thank you for your time. Charles, Gridco is saying that the current power shortages being witnessed across the country is unrelated to the shutdown of Sanon Asogli, but has everything to do with gas supply challenges. Knowing the issues with our gas supply, especially with the financing challenges, do you think Sanon Asogli's shutdown is also contributing to the outages we are experiencing in the country?
All right, thank you. So I think that there's a lot more going on than what we are seeing currently. Our power sector challenges is a mixture of a lot of problems, and one of the primary issues have got to do with the gas supply. We are currently in an era where our gas that we produce domestically and also import through the WACP has not been sufficient to meet the demands for our plants. So yes, even with the earlier power outages that we began to observe somewhere in March, and that took so much time, we had power. It was mainly as a result of fuel supply challenges, and to meet up for those shortfall in gas supply, we've had to go for liquid fuels, which when there is not enough money to procure them, then it also becomes an issue. So yes, gas supply challenges is one of the problems. But again, we cannot also discount the impact of the shutdown of the Sanon Asogli plant, because it's one of the most dependable power plants that we have, as far as energy efficiency, as far as the efficiency of the technology, the plants, and the fuel supply, and also its availability is concerned. It's one of the most reliable plants that we have. So its shutdown, in one way or the other, would have an impact on total power supply. Remember that much as we have total installed capacity, there is also what we call dependable capacity. It's not every kilowatt of power installation that we have that we can depend on at every point in time. So the moment a very reliable plant goes off, there would be an impact, and the volume, the capacity of that plant, about 560 megawatts, is huge. To have even the kind of peak demand we have, and also the level of reliable plants that we have, the shutdown of Asogli would still have an impact. Maybe we may not be able to calculate the extent of the impact, but you can't discount its impact on our power supply.
Power supply. Charles, we have complained about steady financing for the energy sector and revenue mobilization to pay our independent power producers. Now, government has signed a $250 million deal with the World Bank for energy sector recovery. Do you foresee this facility immediately addressing the challenges in the sector? Hello, Charles.
Yes, I'm listening.
Yes. Do you foresee this money we are receiving from the World Bank, this $250 million for energy sector recovery, do you see this credit facility addressing the immediate challenges in the energy sector?
You see, that is also the thing. I think you can go back to history to check how many facilities we have obtained from various multilateral finance institutions on the power sector, on this or that, but we still have issues that we've had to deal with as far as reliable and accessible power is concerned. We need to go into a detail even concerning what this facility is going to be used for. I don't think this is the first time we are seeing this, and I don't think that is going to be the silver bullet that is going to solve all our woes, particularly within the power sector. There is a huge managerial issue, especially around the distribution angle of the power sector, and until we're able to sort out our own distributional inefficiencies along the distributional inefficiencies, we will continue to bring out new financial facilities that is going to have an impact on our debt buildup, but whose overall impact on power sector stability and reliability will not really be felt. I think that we have to deal with a major fundamental issue, which really has to do with the ability of the distribution to be very efficient, minimize its losses, collection technical distributional losses, and ensure that whatever they sell, they're able to generate revenue to be able to sort out the other entities along the value chain. This is something we've been talking about since, and we can't play the ostrich and begin to use look out for other solutions that may not be beneficial for us, and I don't see in a lot of ways how this facility will help unless we are going to put in enough safeguards to ensure that the distributor is efficient and we're able to save the financial situation. We would continue to experience some of these hardships.
Okay, so unless you put in safeguards, this $250 million will be like the others we have received. It won't really do much. That's what you're saying, Charles?
I mean, more or less. I think that it is important for us to, I said, if we go business as usual without putting in, enough safeguards. So it's really on condition that we are more interested in dealing with the fundamental issue. If we don't put in enough safeguards to deal with this financing that is even coming, we may just have to postpone the problem, and then it may still come back to haunt us another time.
How do we sustainably finance the energy sector to ensure that we don't have recurring outages as we've been witnessing over the years? You've mentioned that there are managerial issues, there are some fundamental issues with payment and all. How should we, or how do we sustainably finance our energy sector so that we don't go through?
I think it's really about ensuring distributional efficiency. As I mentioned, the distributor is one of the key agents for revenue collection when it comes to the power sector value chain, and without if the revenues are not collected and if there are losses within the collection of revenues, it's going to have a ripple impact on transmission, it's going to have a ripple impact on fuel supply and also for generation, and that's what we are seeing. That is the reason an IPP like Assembly would decide to shut down its plants, and a lot of IPPs have threatened to do so because the monies are not coming. This cash water form mechanism that we're supposed to have adhered to is not, it will only be efficient, very, very effective when you have enough money to distribute, right? So until we're able to really ensure that distributional efficiency, reduce our losses, and make sure that whatever is collected and whatever is billed is accurately billed, is accurately collected, we would always be in this situation. And what we see is that always government is there to intervene. By all means, government wants the lights to be off, so government has to find money somewhere to pay. But you see, the more we have that extent of government intervention, the more we are using money that could have been used for other social interventions to keep our lights on, and that is the problem. So if you have an entity that's supposed to act as a business and it's not, doing so, then you always have to take money from other places, and they would have to suffer because you have to use their money to keep the lights on, and that becomes a recurring problem for us.
That becomes a recurring problem for us. At this point, do we need a timetable? Should we?
Sorry?
At this point, should we be expecting that we receive a timetable? We spoke with some Ghanaians this morning. They have said that there is power outage in their various vicinities. Some have been able to track it to see that every day it goes off at this time and comes back on at this time. So do we need a timetable so that we can schedule our activities after it?
Yeah, I mean, it's relevant that we, at least whatever you call it, whether timetable or schedule or whatsoever it is, that people receive early warning, signals, so that they can get about to do whatever they want very well. That is very fundamental. But we also need to look at the extent of the issue to look at what key solutions are possible for us as a country. And I think in the long term, we really need to look at how we can ensure distribution efficiency along the power value chain.
How to look at distribution efficiency along the power value chain. Thank you for your time this morning, Charles.
All right, you're welcome.
Charles Jimfi Ofori is the policy lead, climate change and energy transition at ACEP, the Africa Center for Energy Policy. That's all for the discussion on energy this morning on ABC in the morning. Let's get into our next discussion. Per Afrobarometer, public trust in democratic institutions have dwindled ahead of the elections. Public trust in democratic institutions dwindle ahead of elections. With only 39 days remaining until the 2024 elections, several democratic institutions, including the Electoral Commission, Parliament, police, and the President, are suffering from dwindling public trust. The Electoral Commission, for instance, has become one of the least trusted public institutions in Ghana. The latest Afrobarometer survey reveals that public perception of the Electoral Commission as corrupt is on the rise. While the Electoral Commission is responsible for organizing the December 7 elections in a fair, impartial, and transparent manner, only 28% of respondents expressed trust in the Commission. Only 28% of respondents expressed trust in the Commission. This marks a significant decline from the 59% trust level it enjoyed in 2012. In 2022, public trust in the Commission stood at 33%, but it has declined further to 28% this year. The survey also highlights the Ghana Police Service as the most corrupt public institution, followed by the Office of the President, tax officials, members of parliament, and judges. Conversely, the Ghana Armed Forces, religious and traditional leaders, and non-governmental organizations emerged as the most trusted institutions. Additionally, the report revealed that honesty, character, and campaign promises will be the main factor influencing voter decisions in the upcoming 2024 elections. According to the survey, a significant 90% of respondents place high importance on a candidate's honesty, while 88% emphasize character and 59% consider campaign promises relevant. This data highlights a strong reference among Ghanaian voters for personal integrity and ethical qualities over political pledges alone. Let's look at the report. So you have on your screens the trends in how institutions, or in how people trust institutions. This is over a period of 2012 to 2022. So over to 2024, over this period. And you see how Ghanaians have rank them. How Ghanaians have ranked them. We will be speaking with someone from CDD, but before that, just in from UTAG for immediate release, dated October 29, 2024. Suspension of UTAG strike on illegal mining, Galamsey, following members' votes. So this is coming in from the University Teachers Association of Ghana. The University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, wishes to inform the public that effective immediately, we have decided to suspend our strike action addressing the urgent crisis of illegal mining or Galamsey. This decision, while difficult, comes in response to the widespread and democratic votes by UTAG members nationwide. Our ongoing campaign against Galamsey has been driven by its devastating impact on Ghana's environment, water bodies, and countless communities whose livelihoods depend on these resources. UTAG remains unwavering in its commitment to efforts to safeguard our natural resources from the harmful effects of illegal mining. Suspending the strike was not an easy decision, as we recognize the importance of the cause we are advocating for. We understand that this may disappoint some members of the public, and we do not take their confidence in us lightly. However, the current circumstances in the country, as well as the interest of our students and their parents and guardians, have made it necessary to explore alternative legal avenues to address this critical issue. Our efforts will continue resolute and focused on opposing those who exploit our natural resources with disregard for the law or the well-being of our communities. Together, we will work to protect our shared future and uphold the principles of environmental stewardship, justice, and sustainable development. UTAG remains steadfast in our mission to support the preservation of Ghana's land, water, and natural resources for future generations. We express our deepest gratitude to all members for their active participation, engagement, and dedication to the fight against Galamsey. We will not relent in our efforts to bring about meaningful change in the fight against illegal mining. Thank you. Signed, Professor Mahmoud A. Akudugu, UTAG National President. And this is from UTAG. They have suspended their strike against illegal mining following members' votes. Their members have voted for the suspension of the strike. Let's get back to our conversation on public trust in democratic institutions dwindling ahead of the elections. Let's speak with communications specialist at the Center for Democratic at CDD Ghana, Mame Ekia Amwa Chum. Good morning, Mame Ekia. Thank you for joining us. Hello, good morning. Hello, Mame Ekia.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Before we get into the implications of the report, tell us, how rigorous is this survey? Was the study conducted across all regions of Ghana?
Thank you very much. I think to put things in perspective, this is an Afrobarometer survey, and actually in this year, Afrobarometer turns 25 years. So we've been conducting this survey for the past quarter of a century. CDD Ghana conducted this survey on behalf of Afrobarometer. So Afrobarometer has national partners across the 39 African countries that we do this survey. And CDD Ghana has been doing it for us since 1999. So just to let you know that we've been around for long. It's a survey we've been doing for so many years. And in Ghana, like you said, we conducted this survey across all the 16 regions. We spoke to 2,400 Ghanaians, and Ghana Statistical Services helped us with a sampling frame. So in the distribution of our sample, if per the national sample, for instance, it said that 40% of Ghanaians lived in Ashanti region, would ensure that out of the 2,400 Ghanaians we're going to speak to, 40% will be allocated to Ashanti region. And so that's how come we're able to say that our survey is nationally representative, because it mirrors the national sampling frame.
Okay. It mirrors the national sampling frame. Now let's get into the conversation, Mami Apia. As we head into the elections, how dangerous is it that people are losing trust in our democratic institutions, the police and these democratic institutions we should so much trust? How dangerous is it that Ghanaians are losing trust in them?
Well, it's definitely worrying to see that people don't have too much trust in the very institutions that provide services for us or conduct elections or any other thing, right? So this is what our trend, our survey has picked up, and hopefully our institutions will also take up the data and consider it. Because essentially this is coming from Ghanaians who are sharing their views, and so I think it's important that they pick it up and then ask themselves the hard questions. What are we doing wrong? What can we do better? And all that. So yes, that's what I think.
Okay. What would you say has been the determining factors that accounted for this dip in the trust in state institutions? The things that people place emphasis on so much so that it's affected their trust in the state institutions?
So generally our surveys don't ask why, right? We do purely quantitative survey where we ask the hard questions like, have you eaten? You tell us yes, no, and then usually we move on. It will take a qualitative survey to then probe further to ask why. So I won't say I have the answers to sort of understand why and what is influencing Ghanaians' views and opinions on this. But clearly I think it comes out of experiences, how people experience these institutions. So for instance, we have a question on public service delivery where we ask Ghanaians if they had contact with, let's say, the police and how easy it was. So you have Ghanaians telling us it was easy obtaining an identity card. So that could be either with DVLA or a hospital or anywhere else. So I'm just trying to say it's the same with the trust issues. It could be how their experiences with these institutions have been. That is what is informing their views and their opinions with regards to that.
Mamikia, in the conversation, in your survey, I know you say that you didn't do a qualitative one, it was more quantitative than qualitative. However, were you able to pick some specifics on the decisions or the reason for ticking certain boxes in this survey? Do you trust the police? They said no. You didn't go on to do the whys, but are there any specifics that you may have gleaned from your survey?
Well, so we have conversations come up as we ask questions, so we are privy to them, but then it's not the purpose of our data. So we don't collate, we don't analyze, and then we don't share those, right? Okay. So when a respondent is asking a question like, when I ask, do you trust the police? They'll say no. And then if you're fortunate, they'll go on to give you an incident or two as to why. But because that's not what we are after, we don't talk about and then collate and share. So I would not be able to give those reasons. And mind you, we have over 100 research assistants who are all over the country asking these questions at the same time. So people pick up all different sorts of reasons why Ghanaians give us these responses, and no, we don't collate it. So I would not be able to speak on that.
Well, Mamikia, you've been at this for a while now, conducting surveys and all. what would you say has accounted, and this is not to the respondents, this is from your side as CDD, what would you say has accounted for this dip over the years, year in, year out? You conduct surveys to see how much we are appreciating the state institutions. What would you say has been the dip, the factor for this dip this year?
Well, I think there's also the delivery of services. I think essentially that's where most of our problems are coming from. If you walk into a hospital, you expect to have some sort of services. If you walked into DVLA or any institution to make enquiries for one thing or the other, with no hassle, no need for you to know someone before your needs are met or pay bribes or anything. So I think it's just a accumulation of all these things where expectations are not met when ordinary citizens walk into these institutions to engage with them, right? For me, primarily, that's the main reason. The expectations, and then these expectations are clearly not met. Right, and I think if we take the issue from there, we will see differences in the responses.
Well, we'll be looking forward to the next survey you do so that we can also do a comparison and a contrasting of how the things, whether the perception is getting better or not.
Right. Yes, we actually look for that. We usually do these surveys in a 2-year cycle. So hopefully in 2026, when we speak to Ghanaians again, hopefully there will be some improvement in these perceptions, as you've mentioned.
Well, we all hope for that. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Mamie Kia Amwachum is the communication specialist with the Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana. They conducted a survey on behalf of Afrobarometer looking at public trust in democratic institutions. Per the survey, public trust in these institutions have dwindled ahead of the election. We look forward to the state institutions taking a look at this survey and also coming up with what they gather after the survey, especially as we head into the elections. That's all for the discussion today on ABC in the Morning. Stay with us. We will be back with more.
We are currently here at Kamishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m. 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
2 to 1.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
It is possible. Highly possible. Possible.
Welcome back, ABC. In the morning, UTAG has suspended its strike. UTAG has suspended strike. I read the press statement to you just a few moments ago. Let's speak with Dr. Ilyasu Mumuni, the General Secretary for UTAG, on this development. Good morning, Doc. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on your platform.
Doc, NEC said that the various campuses should vote. After the vote, you have suspended the strike. You're still saying that you are going to keep paying attention to the way government handles the situation. Don't you think that you have taken, at the moment, you do not have any bargaining chip anymore in this fight?
Yes, we do not have. And just like we attempted earlier, we never had any bargaining certificates or authorization to engage in what we did. But as a group, we only looked at it to be our collective civic and social responsibility. That was one of the main cardinal points and reasons why we embarked on the strike action. And so as a group, we are showing, or we've shown interest in how government goes about dealing with and responding to issues related to this environmental menace. And to a large extent, whilst it has been temporarily suspended, we want to always be a group that looks up to government to do the right thing when it comes to interventions towards addressing the Galamsey challenge.
In your statement, you said that you have made, this is what you say, I want to read it. However, the current circumstances in the country, as well as the interest of our students and their guardians, have made it necessary to explore alternative legal avenues to address these critical issues. Which legal avenues are you exploring in the fight?
Yeah, so for instance, an industrial action is a legal avenue. Getting interested stakeholders and parties together to sign a pact is a legal avenue. Forming a dialogue where issues related to the challenges and effects of Galamsey, to communities' livelihoods and economic challenge are all part of legal avenues. Going to court to seek for any other redress we so choose at a point in time are all part of the varied legal avenues available to UTAG. We have only just executed one of it, which has to do with going on industrial strike. And so these were some of the things that we alluded to when we say that we will use other avenues to make sure that we do not just take our foot off the pedestal completely.
Doc, you have lost many contact hours in class because of the strike. Students are home, you're also not teaching, so it means that you have lost so many credit hours that you could have been using to teach your students. How do you aim, UTAG, to recoup all of those hours to be able to adequately teach your students as
so effective today? Various campuses will realign their calendars. There are some that are opening, some that are planning to open, and it is our expectation that immediately those calendars are redesigned so that students will come on board and we will meet up with the lost contact hours.
Dr. Dr. Mumuni, did you envision that some of the institutions will vote massively for no, as we saw? We saw University of Ghana voting. The numbers that voted no was high. And did you envision that some of them would vote this high?
Yes. UTAC is a very vociferous and very diverse group. And that is why at any material moment, anything we do, we would have done it on the score that we have our members at our back. And that has to do with consultation. And so you will see that whilst majority wanted to call off, many also wanted that we proceed. And so in such a democratic group, you only will be, expecting for either a yes or no scenario anytime you have such an issue that comes with different reflections. Remember, this is not our conditions of service. And so you wouldn't have members, because this doesn't contribute to anyone's direct packet, you wouldn't have members really reflecting directly to what others may be seeing. And so the expectation that some will disagree whilst others are agreeing is just what we saw on this particular vote. And so these are well expected, and we entreat members to try as much as possible to join the call so that we can all get back to the classroom and then the teaching will start.
There's a press statement, a press release by the National Youth Wing of the New Patriotic Party. They allege that Professor Ransford Jampo, the president for UTAG University of Ghana, is in cahoots with the NDC to disenfranchise students. That's why the strike was still persistent. How do you take these allegations by the NPP Youth Wing?
We will be formally responding to that. It's an obnoxious, absurd, and an unfortunate statement coming from such a quarters. And we've taken a very key note of such disrespect. NEC of UTAC is made up of 75 members. Go through the profile of NEC members. We'll refer to Mr. Salam to check the profile of each NEC member from all the 15 universities. And then go through how we manage the internal policies and democratic processes of UTAC and NEC in particular. For someone to come and say a particular individual has that aura to twerk and turn the rest of NEC members to do his or her bidding is absurd and so well uneducated. We've taken that particular statement seriously, and we will appropriately respond to him and his group.
You will appropriately respond to him. Well, Doc, we are grateful for your time this afternoon. We look forward to speaking with UTAG the more following your suspension. But we remember that you said you are still putting together the pact to have the political parties sign them. How far with the pact at the moment? Have we made any headways? Okay. We have lost Dr. Mumuni. We will speak with him as we move on, because the pact is one of the legal ways that they are looking at addressing the issue of Galamsey. But at the moment, coming in, UTAG has suspended the strike following the vote by the various UTAG members on the various campuses. And he says that right from today, we're looking at students returning to school and teachers or lecturers returning to the classrooms to begin lessons, to begin lectures, so that the hours that have been lost will be recouped. That's it. We'll be back with Politics Today.
mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kanishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
2 to 1.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Minimum. I am to not to say, any quasi a family. Now, me any pana, and I said, if you gana. Mamma, what I said, the little quarter, you seen in penny for, Mamma Modessa. So I check, me a dipper, and I'm Frigana. And to do a kind of side, I will run on power chow. Me run patch out, oh, homo manina. If I told you, your Mahama may say. So I see me. Ni pano kasa say ya no nyina wote say ni pa bi wo ho a ense sanke ya ma ya ba akora wo ba kire me de kokko to ba kire so anti mi an wadi ni dia wo ba kire na me de kokko to no so am na ati ase where dey me ka kire mo me say ne kwato no wo no ne ho enkam a oni me ba dia kire ni ana wo so na ba dia ja bampane mes ana ba dia kire no me see peace me ni to America me so no the quarter best it is what I found back so I found back me my travel was so be fair anymore why ya baby am fast ha na be I am American chair and I don't know some travel or so be fair anymore me so we try.
Well, today on Politics Today, we remember Ikea Donkor, the founder and leader of the Ghana Freedom Party, who has passed away at the Ridge Hospital in Accra. She passed away earlier today at the Ridge Hospital in Accra. Surrounding her death remain undisclosed. Details surrounding her death remain undisclosed. Family sources have confirmed the passing of GFP's leader and flag bearer, Madame Ikea Donkor. Madame Ikea Donkor. Ekuadonko was a prominent and spirited voice in Ghanaian politics, known for her dedication to advocating for farmers and women's rights. As the founder of the Ghana Freedom Party, she became a recognizable figure, often capturing public attention with her bold and outspoken approach to addressing the needs of grassroots communities. Over the years, Ekuadonko distinguished herself by running for the presidency multiple times, undeterred by limited financial resources. And having contested in 2 previous elections, Ekuadonko was listed as the 3rd candidate on the ballot for the 2024 presidential race. Her passing marks the end of an era, closing a unique chapter in Ghana's political history. The late GFP leader began her presidential aspirations when she was elected as the Assemblywoman for Heman, and her first attempt at the presidency came in 2012 when she applied to run as an independent candidate. However, she was disqualified by the Electoral Commission for the reason that she did not meet the eligibility requirements. Although Ekuadonko disagreed with this decision, she did not resort to legal redress. Instead, she threw her support behind Kwesi Nduom of the Progressive People's Party. She was once again disqualified in 2016 after her Ghana Freedom Party headquarters in Kabu, located in the eastern region, was gutted by fire in early January. We extend our warm condolences to the family and close ones of the late Ekuadonko. Her demise has triggered certain constitutional provisions as she was a flag bearer of her party. The Electoral Commission has started printing the ballot papers with her image on them. We would like to speak with a lawyer so that we can understand what the Constitution says in cases like this, what the Constitution provides in cases like this. Ekuadonko's passing has made her a topic on social media today, all over social media, and on the X platform she is trending. Many remember her by her wittiness, her smile, even in any of the comments she would be making, she would be laughing sometimes in very funny ways, and many remember her by her quirks and her wit. Let's take some videos of Madame Ekuadonko to remind us of the woman who was number 3 on the ballot paper for this year's elections.
I'm not about my penny, my house, so me kono. Anyway, I'm penny for the head, the small man. I don't know. Maybe so I don't know, be a god said so. I'm going to say so. Was it a god said, one confessor? So I just say, I know so a cigar and say who quine. Say, I am no cassay. Was cigar and say who quine, whatever year way. What I said, I saw one crowd of war. I'm here to ye. If you said you were here, then so can we. And to make a catch, I want to day, and if Africa as a pay, I'm not about my penny, my house, so me kono. And a one young kono. One on the side, me, I'm to wait, what Baba so sad and plan nine. And I say, I better now, and so some many papa by so. I better pay with some hen of a tear, because I'm my saying, or Pamir come. Now, catches, and I'm the 2 Now, I'm saying, I'll catch up with the was any part of Pamir come. And to remember some of them was a here. A hen, I'm one of kind of my saying, into a Pamir committee, say me, we are good for the come.
Auntie,
making some very controversial statements. Ekuadonko will be remembered for her statements and how Ghanaians perceived her. Let's speak with lawyer Yaw Danquah, who is a private legal practitioner and a constitutional lawyer on this. Good morning, counsel. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, and good morning to your listeners too.
With 39 days to the elections and the demise of the flag bearer for the Ghana Freedom Party, what does the law say around this?
We can find there's a provision in the CI 75, the Constitutional Instrument 75,
which lays down how the EC should proceed in an event where a candidate actually passed on. I think section 11 and also section 15 of the CI 75 provides that since there is more than 25 days before the elections and nominations have closed, the EC will allow the Ekuador party to, they'll be given time, I think maybe probably about 10 days or so, for them to nominate a new candidate to actually replace her. But if she was to be an independent candidate, then the EC does not need to accept any nominations from anyone. But since she belongs to a political party, the party will be given some time by the EC to actually nominate the person to stand. You know.
If the party decides they do not want to nominate anyone, will this have a bearing on the number on the...
I'm sorry, I think the line was dropped a bit, so I didn't get the first part of your question.
If the party, can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
If Ghana Freedom Party decides that they do not want to nominate anybody to take Ekuadonko's stead, does it mean that the EC would have to take her name out, the party out, and then rearrange the rest of the candidates on the ballot paper?
Okay, I think what has happened now, I mean, first of all, the whole nation is saddened by this news of a passing, and of course, we all extend our condolences to the family, the children, and also to the party. But the party now has a choice to report the death of their candidate to the EC, and then, as I've stated, the provisions laid down in the constitutional instrument will actually come into play. They have a choice whether they want to nominate somebody or not. If they choose not to do so, then of course, they will have no representation. But nonetheless, her death alone will cost the state a lot of money, because as we speak right now, I'm sure ballot papers and everything has been printed. And if she's passed, then it means that they have to, new ballot papers will have to be printed and distributed to the police stations and regions and everything else. So the logistics alone is going to cost the nation, some resources. But, as to whether or not the party decides to nominate a candidate to replace her, that'll be their own choice.
Okay. You mentioned that the party has a choice of having to report the death to the EC. Does it mean that if the party does not report it, the EC takes it as her being available for the elections?
Your line was, the question was a bit slightly bit fake, but what I'm getting, let me see if I can answer this question as I caught it. What will happen is that, even though that people are saying that she's passed and everything else, it's like with everything. When you take a person to a hospital and you know that the person is dead and you see that the person is dead, clinically the person is not dead until a doctor certifies the death. Like with the EC, until the party communicates to the EC of the passing of their leader, the EC cannot take whatever is being said in the newspapers for granted or accept that as what has happened. The party will have to communicate officially to the EC, informing them of the passing of their candidate.
If, Lawyer Dankwa, in the case where the party has not written to the EC, we get into the elections and it happens that Ekuadonko of the Ghana Freedom Party, number 3 on the ballot, has won the elections. What are the legalities around that?
I'm also sorry that I keep repeating. The line is so bad that I'm getting scanty of your question.
Pardon us. I will take the question again.
You said in an event what that the party was?
In the event that the party does not write to the Electoral Commission And so we get into the elections with the ballot papers that we already have. Ikea Donko of the Ghana Freedom Party, number 3 on the ballot. We get into the elections, and after voting, it turns out that Ghana Freedom Party has won the elections. What will be the legality surrounding that?
Okay. I see that the question is a hypothetical one, right? But let me say this. In an event where people, the masses vote for she belongs to a party. So if you vote for her, it's a vote for the party. And if she's no more, then in my view, that her vice president will assume the office, because that is the party that they voted for. And you vote for a presidential candidate with his or her running mate. And in an event where the candidate is no more, the running mate takes over. We saw this with Atta Mills. When Atta Mills died, former President John Dramani Mahama was the vice president, and he was sworn in as the president of the nation. So I believe that is what will happen. But in this case, I don't think that will ever happen, because even if the party choose not to communicate to this EC, and there's this speculation, the EC can write to the party to confirm whether the candidate is alive or dead. Are you with me? And so I think we will resolve this well before the elections takes place. This is not a case where she died the eve of the elections, and then I think that your question might be a reality. But since it's more than 25 days, one way or the other, we'll come to know what has happened to her, and the EC will follow the law and do what is needful. And we'll have a situation where those whose names and photographs will go on the ballot box will be those who are alive and ready to serve Mother Ghana.
Thank you for your time this morning, Lawyer Dankwa.
Thank you. I'm very grateful.
Yao Dankwa is a private legal practitioner and a constitutional lawyer. Earlier today, just entering into the morning, received news of the passing of Ikea Donko, the leader and flag bearer of the Ghana Freedom Party, the presidential candidate for Ghana Freedom Party, dead at 72. And Lawyer Dankwa tells us that the EC will give the party an opportunity to nominate someone in her stead, so that they can also still contest in the elections. However, the logistics after her death is going to cost the country a lot. It's going to cost us a lot, because if there's a new candidate, it means that we'll have to print new ballot papers. That's it on politics today. Ikea Donko, leader and flag bearer of the Ghana Freedom Party, dead, aged 72. We extend our sincerest and deepest condolences to the Ghana Freedom Party, to her family and her loved ones. That's all for politics today. We'll head straight into executive interview.
So I see me. You panel cast say, and when you know what they say, you pay me and say, thank you, I am my back. I have got what bet you, I made a cocoa to a bet. So until me, I'm waiting your bachelor. Now, when you cocoa to the family, I say, where they may catch them off, may say, the quarter no one on the whole come and come out, maybe a bed yet, and I also a bed yet, penny miss, and a bed yet, no. May see peace in America, Miss one of the quarter miss. I just want to found back. So I found back.
Interview, it is a segment for you, so we invite you to come on executive interview. Let's speak about that foundation of yours, that business of yours, that startup, that product, the service you provide. So get in touch with us on 053-916-1609, 053-916-1609. Today on executive interview, we are throwing the spotlight on Nufu Foundation, their campaign against breast cancer. We'll be speaking with the founder and director of Nufu Foundation. She is Dr. Lily Pemka. Dr. Lily Pemka. Nufu Foundation is a non-profit organization that was created in 2018 with the vision of a future where every African community is informed, proactive, and supported in the fight against breast cancer. The Nufu Foundation exists as at the intersection of academic research and community activism geared towards significantly reducing the incidence of breast cancer morbidity and mortality by 2.5% annually. This non-profit foundation stemmed from the pioneering work of the PEMCA Lab and the West Africa Center for Cell Biology of Infectious Pathogens, WACBIP, at the University of Ghana, and has spearheaded the Nufu First Breast Cancer Awareness Campaign. Dr. Lily Pemka is the founder and director of the Nufu Foundation, and she is a molecular geneticist and a senior lecturer in the Biochemistry, Cell and Molecular Biology Department of the University of Ghana. And as a principal investigator at the University of Ghana, Dr. Pemka's research focuses on breast cancer, genetic risk factors, prostate cancer, epigenetics, and the genetics of multiple myeloma in Ghanaians, with a keen interest in understanding genetic variations in Africa and their role in cancer. Under her leadership, the Nufu Foundation has successfully educated and screened over 3,500 women and men. Dr. Pemka, thank you for joining us this morning on ABC in the Morning. Hello, Dr.
Thank
Pemka.
you for having me. Hi, thanks for having me.
What inspired
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What inspired you to begin this initiative?
Okay, so like you mentioned, I am a molecular geneticist and I do study genetic diseases. So what inspired me to do this was, first of as I was so I moved back from the US while I was doing my postdoctoral fellowships. And then I decided to work on breast cancer. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Just before you go on, kindly turn on your camera so our viewers can see you.
Turn it up. Hi.
Hi,
can you see me now?
Please go ahead.
Okay. So, in the past, I'd worked on other genetic conditions, and then I decided to move back to Ghana. And then I was looking at an area to focus on. So I decided to focus on breast cancer.
Hello, Dr. Pemka, are you there? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Okay. So when I was preparing this proposal to understand the genetic underpinnings of breast cancer in Black women, because there has been very little research in breast cancer and black. Me was that
Dr. Pemka, we seem to be having issues. We seem to be having issues establishing contact with you. We keep losing you intermittently. So would be glad if you could reposition yourself so that the conversation can be as smooth as possible and we can have the full expression of the conversation. So let's give you just some 30 seconds to better position yourself. We'll come back for the conversation. So we are discussing breast cancer, NUFU Fest, and it is spearheaded by Dr. Lily Pemka. She started by telling us that she's been involved in other genetic studies, and she decided when she came back to Ghana to focus on breast cancer, breast awareness, and all, especially breast cancer as affecting Black or African women, cancer affecting African women. So we'll be speaking with her, delving more into it, what initiated this and how far she's come with NUFU Fest. But her foundation exists as at the intersection of academic research and community activism so that we can reduce significantly the incidence of breast cancer in Ghana and in Africa all over. But let's take a look at what NUFU Fest, led by Dr. Lily Pemka, have been doing since the foundation was created in 2018.
This is why 50% is important to all Ghanaians. In life, we cherish the moments that define us, from shared laughter to cherished memories with family and friends. But sometimes, life takes an unexpected turn, cutting short a journey filled with promise and leaving us in grief.
I am Dr. Oyuruke Suliat Oyawe. This is the unfortunate reality of 50% of women diagnosed with breast cancer in Ghana. A stark contrast to the global 5-year survival rate of 90%. Breast cancer is constantly claiming the lives of our mothers, wives, sisters, and daughters each year due to late detection. So everyone, let's practice the TLC. Touch your breast each month, look out for any abnormalities, and call your doctor if you are worried. Remember, early detection saves lives.
That's why we began the NUFU Fest campaign 7 years ago, to empower women and build a supportive community that celebrates, appreciates, and cares for their breast. With over 3,500 women examined for free in our past editions, we aim to reduce breast cancer mortality by 2.5% annually. Previously, we had focused on the Greater Accra region, but now we plan to extend our reach to all 16 regions to address health disparities and limited access to breast cancer care resources. Our goal is to raise $100,000 to achieve our goals. Let us come together to save lives. It is possible. And with your support, we can change the narrative for these women. My name is Dr. Lily Pemka, a geneticist. I am the founder and director of the NUFU Foundation. Early detection saves lives. It's your time to make a difference.
And I saw one issue I was actually my yimban and Tumla Duma and Yalaski.
My dear Kunim, I want from Ukram, so a breast cancer.
My name is Gina. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I've survived breast cancer since 2017.
NUFU Foundation is doing, why 50% is important. Dr. Lily Pemka is the founder and director for the NUFU Foundation. Dr. Pemka, thank you for staying with us. Like you were saying, when you returned...
Thanks for having me. I hope it's better now.
It is better. You said when you
Right.
returned to Ghana, you were looking for another venture to enter so that you could do more studies, and it is that which led you to breasts and looking at breast cancer and all. Take us through the inspiration
So I
of
was
the
just,
initiative.
yeah, I actually decided before I moved back to focus on breast cancer research. I got a grant through the West African Center for Cell Biology and Infectious Pathogens. In preparing my proposal, what struck me was the fact that in African women and in Ghanaian women, breast cancer mortality is disproportionately higher than you see in the other parts of the world. And although my research is supposed to understand the genetics of breast cancer in Black women, I figured we had to, look at a more immediate and more urgent need. That is to raise breast cancer awareness, because the disproportionately high mortality rate that we observe in this part of the world is partly due to the low awareness. So that's how NUFO First came about. And so with support from the West African Center for Cell Biology and Infectious Pathogens, we launched the first edition of the NUFO First Foundation. And it's NUFO First because NUFO breasts, is understood by a majority of Ghanaians, and the first as a festival because we want to appreciate breast. Because let's face it, the human race, we rely on breast milk. The babies rely on breast milk, and that's how come we are surviving. So if we're able to appreciate that important, organ, we'll tend to take better care of it, and then we are more likely to, detect any abnormality that, shows up, so that we can seek early care, because early detection saves lives.
What key partnerships drive your organization's mission?
Okay, so first of all, we started, WAGBIP is one of the major sponsors. In the past few years, we've had a few come on board. We have TLC, the Little Cows, a marketing consulting firm, and then subsequently we've had FUSAG at the University of Ghana. We've had, and this year we have the police hospital who's joined us. We have Pay Angel, we have DCL, a bunch of AS is the Senior Staff Association of the University of Ghana. They've all come on board to help raise awareness.
This is your first edition of the NUFO Fest, but in your previous campaigns, how have Ghanaians appreciated what you're doing at NUFO Foundation?
Okay, so we've really got it. We've got a good patronage, because every year we end up screening hundreds of women, and the exciting thing is, the good part is we do help with early detection in some of these women, and I think it's become an annual event, especially on campus. We tend to screen, not only students screen, but we do try to position ourselves strategically so we can, screen the women in the at the night market, and then we have the women staff of the University of Ghana as well. And I think they've been appreciative of it. And beyond the University of Ghana, we've gone outside. We've gone to schools. We've gone to markets. We've gone to malls. We've gone to petrol stations, and so on and so forth.
In the long run, what legacy do you see NUFO Foundation establishing?
Reducing the mortality rate in Ghana, at least starting in Ghana. We want to, reduce the mortality rate, because it's disproportionately higher, and it's partly due to, the low awareness. And so if we're able to raise enough awareness together, other groups that are doing this, I think gradually, we'll see a change where, it's not, the mortality rate drops significantly, and people are not scared to go to the hospital, because that's one of the things that, comes when people detect something, they're just scared. But it can be treated, and the earlier the better. And yes,
for the work
you would like to reduce the stigma.
Reduce the stigma, right? In the work you do, what kind of research is your lab conducting at the moment on all of these with breast cancer?
So for breast cancer, we're looking at genetic and pathogenic risk factors of breast cancer in Ghanaian women. So basically, what we do is to we collect tumors and then tissue, normal adjacent tissue, and then sequence them. So when you sequence them, you're able to, like I mentioned, breast cancer is caused by mutations in cells. So when we isolate DNA, we sequence them, we're able to understand or see the genes that are driving cancer in black women. So when it comes to genetic diseases, they present with ethnic and racial variations because, we are slightly different. We are not genetically, we are not identical. And so with a lot of genetic disease, there are slight differences. So if you rely on data from different populations, you can use it to some extent, but it's not, the best is to have population specific data, which is more relevant. And we happen to be the most genetically diverse population because humans evolved in Africa and populated the rest of the world. And if you're using data that has been generated from primarily Caucasian or Eurocentric data, there are some differences that don't apply for us. So we need to study our population. That's what we're doing. So we identify genes that we think are predisposing or driving cancer in black women that are peculiar to your population. Already we've seen some new genes, we've seen some new mutations, and then we're going to go on and characterize them to understand the genetic underpinnings. And that will help with, first of all, understanding how the cancer develops and hopefully develop tools for, therapeutic targets and tools for diagnosis and prognosis and whatnot. We also look at other factors like pathogens and different viruses that we think and bacteria that are contributing to carcinogenesis in this, the development of the cancer in this part of the world.
Dr. Pemka, we understand you have an event happening tomorrow. Can you run us through it?
Oh yes. So we have the Grand NufuFest VII. So it's VII because it's the 7th edition. And it's going to be at the University of Ghana. So that's tomorrow, Wednesday, 30th October 2024 at the Banking Square. And we're going to start off with a pink parade at from 7 to 8 a.m. And then the screening will start from 9 to 5 p.m. We have a number of collaborators who are going to be helping in the screening. We have the police hospital, we have FUSAG. And so in the morning after the pink parade, where we're going to walk around and try to raise our awareness, in the afternoon we're offering free screening. So we have nurses and doctors, we even have counselors, we have psychologists who are going to screen. The FUSAG group is going to be giving anthropometric measurement to BMI, to give nutritional counseling, check your BP, and so on and so forth. And there are a lot of giveaways. We have cakes. We have vendors coming in to give our stuff. Yes, it's going to be a fun day. Entertaining, and it's going to be a fun day. So just beyond screening, you get to exercise a bit, because a healthy lifestyle does reduce your risk of getting not just breast cancer, a lot of other conditions.
Will it be free, or there will be a small fee attached to it?
Absolutely free. It's free, and it's possible because of the sponsors and partners who've been helped to contribute towards this event. But yes, it's absolutely free. University of Ghana. So you even get to talk to survivors. Sometimes you can be a scientist or a doctor. You can say all you want, or the educated staff and the facts and whatnot. But when you have someone who's actually walked that that journey, has been through breast cancer, it provides a different perspective. It actually resonates with a lot of people. So we have a couple of survivors. We have.
Dr. Pemka, in your final words in 30 seconds, what would you like to say about all of the conversation around breast cancer, and also how can we reach... Hello, Dr. Pemka, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
So we do have a survivor who will be there to give a talk. So there are going to be workshops. We're going to have these mannequins, right? They are these medical mannequins that demonstrate what are the signs to look out for, how to conduct your own self-examination, because that's really important. You know your breast better than anyone else. So if once you get to learn how to do it and you go home, we provide instructions and flyers on how to conduct your own examination, so that you can do your monthly checks. And that's increasing surveillance. That will help you detect anything abnormal, so that you can seek early medical care.
Thank you for speaking with us this morning, Dr. Pemka.
You're welcome. Thanks for.
Dr. Lily Pemka is the founder and director for the Nufu Foundation. Tomorrow they are having a Nufu Fest VII, and I'm inviting everybody to the University of Ghana Banking Square to be a part of this and have your breast screened and also speak with medical doctors, medical practitioners in and around the breasts and breast cancer awareness. So Nufu Fest invites you. This is how we end ABC in the morning today. We'll be with you same time tomorrow from 6 a.m. Do well to join us for all of our conversations. Thank you for your time. We are grateful that you spent time with us on ABC in the morning. I am Abena Mante. Do enjoy the rest of your day.